Maria Mushtaq will now introduce our chief guest.
An alumnus of the University of Cambridge, having completed the Climate Leadership Program in 2007, a postgraduate certificate in Sustainable Business in 2008, and a Master of Studies in Sustainability Leadership in 2014. He is a Wolfson College alumnus at Cambridge University. He holds a Doctor of Business Administration degree from the European University, Switzerland, 2016. He also holds a Master of Business Administration degree from the University of Colombo and is a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK, and holds a Diploma in International Management and completed the Advanced Management Program at INSEAD Business School in France. Dr. Fernando has served as Area Marketing Director and Chief Executive of SmithKline Beecham in Kenya, UAE, and Vietnam. He has been CEO of Reckitt and Coleman in Sri Lanka, CEO, Branding and Sustainability at MAS Holdings, and CEO of the Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology. He was also the United Nations Global Compact focal point for Sri Lanka from 2003 to 2010. Among his numerous other accomplishments and achievements, Dr. Fernando is also a visiting faculty member of INSEAD Business School and the Postgraduate Institute of Management, Sri Lanka. It is our honor and pleasure to welcome as our chief guest this evening, Dr. Ravi Fernando.
Principal of the Asian International School, the Board of Directors, the graduating class of 2020, parents, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a privilege to speak a few words to a group of people getting into the world, into the real world, after having been sheltered to a certain extent by your parents and supported up till now by your teachers. The time is going to come when you're going to get pretty much into the real world of moving forward and building your lives. Today, I want to speak on the topic being relevant for the 21st century. Being relevant for the 21st century. And what influenced me to speak to all of you about that particular topic is a book I was able to read recently titled 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Harari. I don't know how many of you read any of their books, but he's clearly seen as a futurist who is giving us excellent advice in terms of being relevant. Because one of the interesting quotes I found in that book was the comment that nothing is more, the biggest challenge most of us will face in the 21st century is not being exploited, but being relevant. So what does being relevant for the 21st century entail? I'm sure all of you have excelled in your studies, probably some of you more than others. I've had the privilege of watching some of the excellent theater work all of you have done, and I'm truly impressed by the kind of talent that is available here. But I want to make a general comment before I get into relevance of the 21st century, and that is to mention to every one of you that there's none of the 80 people seated in this room is by any means someone who doesn't have talent. The common factor is that every one of you have talent. The real question is some of you probably use that talent a little more. Some of you put a little more hard work. But that doesn't mean that there's anyone in this room, for that matter, parents included, and teachers included, that doesn't have talent. Everybody has talent. And in terms of beginning to harness that talent, what really makes the difference between harnessing the talent to its full potential and simply getting by is the commitment that comes from your inner self. And to really bring out the best that your talent within you, that must only come from within. And that cannot come because of the parents pushing you, or your teachers pushing you, or anyone else pushing you. The only way your talent is going to really take wings is if you are able to motivate yourself and realize that the reason you're doing this is for yourself and not for anybody else. So that's the first key point I want to get across to all of you. So getting ready for the 21st century, I think the principal has already talked about a new normal, and I believe the new normal is something we all need to adjust to and adapt to. And the new normal, by and large, is going to challenge every one of you in terms of the identifying and doing the right courses in your degrees and whatever next step that you have in mind. And selecting the right courses, today I want to share a few thoughts about how you might go about selecting the right courses. Gone are the days when you would enter university, have a degree, and then be assured of a job. Today, there's a massive competition because there are lots of people out there with talent who are investing more and more of their time and energy to bring out the best that they have. So, as you get ready for the 21st century, Yuval Harari says, most people will suffer not from exploitation, but from something far worse, irrelevance. So how does every one of you seated here who are graduating today become relevant for the 21st century? So there are a few key points that you need to understand about the 21st century, which is important for you to be sensitive to. And one way to be sensitive to tomorrow is to spend time understanding what is happening out there in the world. I teach in a couple of universities, and one of the first questions I ask students when I walk into a class is, how many of you watch the news today? Is there any item of news that you can share with me today that you watch? And the answer I get most times is, we are too busy to watch the news. Now, if people are too busy to watch the news, then I don't know how you're going to become relevant in the 21st century. News is one item of information, but there are many other items of information. So, first thing I want to challenge every one of you is to start beginning to invest some time and energy to understand what's happening around you. And there are massive changes happening around you. So, let's just talk a little about some of the changes that we see happening from a technology point of view. When we look at the world of technology, we can see that the science of nanotechnology, which I've had the opportunity of leading Sri Lanka's institutes, the area of biotechnology and the combination of nanobio, robotics, are beginning to basically challenge many jobs that are out there, along with artificial intelligence that has come into play. So let me first start by saying that whatever course you decide to follow for your first degree, ensure that you're doing at least an elective on artificial intelligence. Because whatever course you follow, artificial intelligence is going to be applied to that area that you're going to follow. So understand what is happening with the world of artificial intelligence. The whole area of electrification, of transportation from vehicles to everything to do with vehicles is going to happen. So much so that by 2025, we can already see the European Union has banned petrol and diesel vehicles. So which means there's going to be some massive changes happening in the world. Which means There are opportunities for all of you because all of you are going to get into the job markets 5 to 7 years from now after your bachelor's degree or if you decide to follow a master's degree. But it is important for you to get ready and do the kind of courses that are going to enable you to be more relevant in the 21st century. Because it's not just about getting a degree and coming out and having a couple of letters behind your name. It is more about how you are able to apply that to the new world that you are coming into in the 21st century. And in terms of artificial intelligence, I must say that this is going to be one of the factors that are going to change. And the nation that leads in artificial intelligence is none other than China. China today has mobilized artificial intelligence for decision making much more than any other nation on the planet. And I can see one of the reasons for that is its leadership. Most of the leadership of China come with a science background, by the way. And I'm in no way saying that all of you need to be scientists, but that obviously helps as China makes some of the decisions they're making. And not only in the area of artificial intelligence, whether it is in solar power, electric vehicles, electrification of rail, whether it's in agriculture in terms of precision agriculture, nanotechnology, robotics, guess which country leads the world today? It's China. So that is a new normal that one needs to be sensitive to and understand that some of the future opportunities are going to come from that area. Today I was reading an article about the world's biggest car company. The world's most valuable car company. For many moons, the most valuable car company in the world was Volkswagen. In the last 5 to 7 years, they were usurped by Toyota. This week, in fact, in the last couple of days, a new company took over as the world leader, as the most valuable car company. The name of the company is Tesla. And I hope all of you have heard of Elon Musk and Tesla and how he's beginning to change the world in terms of everything he does. So the first picture I want to paint for all of you is the 21st century. If you are going to be relevant in the 21st century, whatever field of study you intend pursuing, having an appreciation for science is going to be important. Whether you're an arts graduate, whether you're a commerce graduate, or any graduate, please understand appreciation for science and technology is something you must build an appreciation for, because if you don't have that, you're going to become irrelevant. Yesterday, for those of you who watched the news, the nations suffering from COVID-19, the top 4 nations are United States of America, with nearly 2-point-some million cases, with about 130,000 fatalities, followed by Brazil, followed by Russia, and England is in 4th place. Now I want to tell you something that is common about all these 4 countries. Number one, the leaders of those countries ignored science. All 4 countries. The leaders of all 4 countries ignored what was then mooted as the climate emergency. And it is not surprising that the leaders of these countries then ignored the health emergency. So that is why I'm saying to all of you, whatever course you intend following in the future, you must begin to have an appreciation of science, because the world can no longer afford to put in place any leader of any nation, for that matter any organization, who doesn't at least respect science. And that respect, I hope every one of the 80 of you will begin to build into yourselves. The second key point I want to make, even as you move forward, whatever course you select, Don't settle for being anything but the best at it. And pursuing excellence has to be one of the watchwords in whatever you do. And I can tell you, any one of us from Sri Lanka can be world class in whatever field we want to be. And we can do so if we put our energy behind it, because Sri Lankans are second to none in any field. And I can tell you, if we had more time, how many Sri Lankans today lead the world in so many fields. And I hope if each one of you don't settle for anything but pursuing to be the best at what you are. Number 2 is you must build a global mindset. You know, too many Sri Lankans I find, especially in the local universities that I teach, are basically focused on getting through the exam, but have no understanding of what's happening around them. If you want to be relevant, then you need to have a global mindset. So begin to cultivate an ability to understand what's happening around you in terms of a global mindset. And lastly, if you want to be relevant in the 21st century, the courses you select should not be the courses that simply get you a degree. It must be a course that is getting ready for the kind of job opportunities and the sectorial opportunities of the 21st century. And I would highly recommend that you read people like Yuval Noah Harari, who is one of the futurists who has basically given us all a glimpse of what this future can be. So, in closing, ensure that you select the right courses for tomorrow's job opportunities, not the courses for today's job opportunities. And when you select your courses, ensure whatever course you do, have an elective on AI. Number 2, be passionate to be the best. Have a global mindset. Don't just be worried about what's happening in and around Sri Lanka. There's a big world out there. And every one of you must begin to be a part of the real world that is out there. Lastly, remember it's your future and not anyone else's future. So take ownership of ensuring that you give your future the best shot you can give it. Because finally, it's not about what your dad and mom wanted you to do or what your teachers thought what you should do. It's about now you are in the driving seat. You are the captain of your destiny. You need to now take control of selecting and doing the right things and giving it the best shot, because finally, you've got to be on your own feet, adding value in a specified area that you believe is your talent, and also being relevant in the 21st century. I wish you all the very best as you graduate today, and I sincerely hope each one of you will take some of the thoughts I've given you seriously as you select your next big stage going forward. Thank you very much.